also have Cricketers Welfare Association of Bangladesh President Mohammad Mitul. We are hosting this press conference because Lisa has agreed to do the press conference. She's here in the capacity of a commentator, but she's also the WCA president. So if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand.
Lisa, you have seen co-op working. How do you see co-ops particularly these days?
Sorry?
I mean, that new body has
Yes.
co-ops. How are they doing?
Well, it's been great to actually be here in Bangladesh and to actually catch up with Mithun and a number of the other committee members the other night. We had about an hour conversation at our hotel, and it was wonderful to actually get an understanding of what the new administration have been doing. Obviously, there's been some challenging times for them, and they've probably been faced a fair bit of criticism. But at the end of the day, they're here representing the entirety of the cricketers, professional cricketers in Bangladesh, and I think they've been doing a wonderful job. These are new administrators who are learning about a players' association and what they can do and how they can be the voice for professional cricketers in Bangladesh.
I think you know about the previous body of co-op. Do you think the new co-op is quite different from the previous one?
Yeah. Well, the previous body, I think there was only a couple of people that were involved in that, and it's very hard to look after such a big cohort of players with only 2 administrators. And what we've seen around the world is a true players association has a slight disconnect from the governing body, because both groups are still working to try and ensure that the growth of the game and the sustainability and the welfare of the players is at the foremost or at the front of mind. But having a separate group of people that can work and build those relationships with those players without being the ones to hand out the contract and things like that, that means that there's no conflict of interest, and trust can be built with the players and obviously the new executives.
What about good morning? I saw you were talking with legal now. What was the conversation you were having with him?
Well, I had to do the pitch report, so I was just getting ready and he was standing behind, and he said to me, what do you think? So then I actually gave him my impressions of the pitch and obviously put that in the pitch report. And then I realised, I said, hang on, shouldn't I be asking you? You're the one that plays here very regularly, but supposedly Litandas does that regularly. I think maybe it's a chance for him just to test that the commentators actually know what we're talking about.
Lisa, there were some previous issues regarding players getting their payment in BPL. International players also get their payment in BPL also. Did you give some piece of advice during about this thing, that payment issue for international players?
Yeah, so what the World Cricketers Association does, and we have it on our website, it's almost a traffic light system of all of the T20 leagues around there. It's to help players, administrators, agents to understand what have been the issues or what have been the successful things from each T20 league. Now, obviously, if you look at BPL, their traffic light, there's not a lot of green, unfortunately. And I think, speaking to Mithun, I said this is an opportunity for them as a new organisation, a new executive, to be able to work with Bangladesh Cricket Board to ensure that overseas players want to come here and play, and that potentially they can get into the amber green lights, and for it to be a tournament that people want to travel and be part of, because you've got some wonderful facilities, you've got some wonderful cricketers. Obviously, that's shown how Bangladesh have been able to perform in recent times. So hopefully, between the 2 organisations, they can work together and ensure that BPL is as strong and prosperous as it can be.
Sir, when you see the co-op in previous in Bangladesh, they're ex-cricketer, ex-president and secretary, but now the running cricketer which is coming. In previous some dictatorship in co-op. So, but in recent time it will be changed. So, how suggestion about this kind of organization is better to running cricketer or ex-cricketer? I don't barrier the X or XYZ. It doesn't mean that ex-cricketer are not the perfect. But what's your suggestion?
Yeah, what I can tell you is the number of players' associations that are part of the World Cricketers Association, so ACA, so the Australian Cricketers Association, PCA, SA, SACA as well. What tends to be is there has to be current players involved in the executive, because they tend to be the touch point for people within that players association to understand what the national players or even domestic players are going through. And then I think a good mix of business people, people that have been successful in the commercial world, the corporate world, finance, lawyers. You need to bring all kind of skill sets together. But at the end of the day, the Players Association is the voice of the entire playing group. So you need current players, past players to be part of that.
Last.
Regarding players' payment, do you think that Bangladeshi players, I'm talking about Bangladesh players, do you think that a new contract paper, I mean, whenever there is a contract paper, there's a lot of things said about this contract paper does not validate his claim and all those things. A contract paper should be there that with Bangladesh Cricket Board involved in it. I mean, a tripartite contract paper between players, the franchisee and the cricket board, so everyone knows what's the payment issue and what's the payment module of that player.
Sorry.
I just give you an example. Nasir Ahmed last year played for Silet game. He claimed that he is yet to receive a large amount of money. But according to that his contract paper, he cannot claim that because that's not doesn't appear in the law. So you think that this contract, players' contract, is a big issue for local players, so that they have to claim back their money from the franchisee?
I think, professional cricketers, it's their job, right? All of you guys have jobs. You do your job, you expect to be paid. I think it doesn't make a difference. A professional cricketer, if they've gone out and played cricket and done what their job is, they should be paid for that. And if the system and the structure has put in frameworks and contracts, then that should be abided by. But that's all domestic cricket, and that's up to the Players Association here on the ground to work with that. What the World Cricketers Association tends to do is when we go into ICC events. So we tend to assist and help at that next level. Our dealings are with ICC. It's not necessarily with the Bangladesh Cricket Board or Cricket Australia. That's for that individual Players Association in that country. However, Mithun will be coming to London. We have a board meeting. It will be exciting for him to be part of it, and no doubt he'll learn a lot more about Players Associations and what programs we run across the world.
Two more questions.
So often a question is like, if a cricket association and cricket board are rival organizations, very often this question arises. So what's the view in this regard? Like, if the cricket association and cricket board are these two rival associations, or they are like they are going on?
Yeah, well, you look around professional sport around the world, football, basketball, American football, they all have a players' association. It's all about the players being a genuine partner within the game and helping to shape the game. I think at the end of the day, everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants cricket to prosper in their country, in their state, in their county, and they want cricket to be a global game. And that requires everyone coming together, not just everyone working in little silos. It's all for individual players' associations. It's up to that country and those players if they want it. We understand at WCA that there's going to be cultural differences. And we've found that education in what actually a player association is really important. And I think we've got some information for you guys just to learn and understand what we do. It's not just about remuneration or contracts. There are so many other things that we look after. Literally, as soon as a player comes into the professional setup, they're pretty much a member until the day they die. That's the great thing about a cricket community. And there's Mithun's given me a number of examples of how they've assisted and helped players and players' families as well in times of need. And there's going to be constant assistance required to ensure that the health, safety and the mindset of a player is ready to go so that they can perform on the field. And a Players Association does a lot of work to enabling that.
Are you aware what happened with Test cricketer Naima son?
Naima son, the Test cricketer who got assaulted by the police.
Yep. It's something that I'm not really across, so I'm not into Bangladesh news to understand, but I believe Mithun's been in constant communication and they're providing support for him. I think the main thing is, regardless of any kind of incident, the player will always be first and foremost the most important thing in the player association in that local country. So I was briefed briefly about that, and all I needed to know is that the player is being assisted and helped by the player association.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Well said.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Nó